Hey everyone, my name is Jack Williams with
Ehsan, Kassim.
and welcome to a special episode of Seminole Script Soccer Edition. I think this is the first time we've done this, and there's no better time to do it. FSU is a four-time national champion in a dominant way, undefeated, unconquered. Final score 5-1 over Stanford. Just dominance, top to bottom.
I mean, I guess what happens when you let an undefeated team play for a national championship, but we won't make too much about that because that's a topic for another day. We will talk about that. Don't worry. But oh my God, man, Stanford had not given up multiple goals in a game this year. They had won like 30 straight games. They had not given up 4 goals in a game since 2005. Not 5 goals since 2000. Oh my God. Just it started off in the 29th minute. Jordan Dudley, cool as a cucumber. I said it wrong earlier, but I said it right that time, Jack. Cool as a cucumber, steps up. I asked Brian Penske that she kicked in the same spot as she kicked in the Texas game, and just confidence in herself. She talked about it. She's like, I didn't want to change anything up. I want to do the same way. She did it, and she got the goal.
She is not 20 yet, by the way. She is a teenager still doing things like this. And the biggest stage in college soccer, cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, cool as a cucumber, All-American, as a freshman. She was the most outstanding player. Excellent player, excellent person. I asked her about, Brian mentioned, Brooke Wyckoff, watch her play basketball. And she's like, are you sure she's going to play soccer? She made the right decision, I think. Winning a national championship is,
so.
How many ever goals she scored this year. Jody Brown had 2 goals today. Oni Echegini had a goal. Beata Olsen had a goal and 2 assists. All-around effort, just amazing. This team is a national champion because they deserved it. Beata Olsen had a great thing today. And, I remember when I first interviewed, she was the first player interview I did for, the soccer team when I started last year at the Democrat. And Penske told me, she's like, he talked about her leadership. He said there was like 18, 20 questions. Half of them came from Beata about, what you're going to do, what are you going to do. She was in the transfer portal like all the other players at that time. Like, not all the other players, but, a majority of the players. And she asked her questions, and Penske was like, I like this girl right away. Because you would be like, oh, she's annoying. But he talked about how important it was to have her on stage after that when he called it a smart decision to have her. And,
Riley Nesbitt.
Nesbitt. And both great players, both well spoken today after the championship. But Beata, talked about just the trust they built. They, everything they've been through together. Last year, they, and we talked to Michael Offord about this as well. It was a weird time. Former coach Mark was gone. He left in March, April, and they had to hire new coach Brian Penske. That time, so that was so much training. Like Beata said today, they had a couple more months or a couple of more weeks last year, they would have won a championship last year. They lost in the semifinals last year. So it's a talented team. They brought more talent in, transfers, freshmen, and went undefeated, unconquered, undefeated. And, obviously, Jack, you want to talk, you covered them. You were with them all year. So what was impressive about this game? Was this the most complete game?
I mean, this was the most complete game. I had not seen a game this season where FSU completely harassed a team up and down the field. This was going to be a defensive battle early on, and it was looking like a defensive battle early on. Stanford had a great back line in this game. Stanford is known for their back line and their defensive play throughout the season, hence the fact that they allowed just 10 goals this year. And the other fact, too, that FSU matched half of that just in this game is unbelievable in itself. But the fact that FSU just harassed this team up and down the field, from the back line to the front line, they were relentless, just complete game from the all together. Jody Brown, she's a player who really got going on the earlier part of the season. She really looked like she was going to be kind of those top fours, and she slowly settled into a midfielder role, which is her true role. There's so many international players, so much international talent on this team as well. You have players playing in the World Cup from Nigeria, Oni Ejikini. You have Jody Brown in the World Cup with Team Jamaica, Maria Alagoa with Team Portugal, and Jody Brown really just emerged in this game. She had 2 goals, is that correct?
Correct.
She had that goal 26 seconds after the first goal from Dudley on the PK. She had a dynamic game tonight, and she, we really saw kind of an old face. Oh, I think the clip broke off of this. Anyway, but she was just dynamic tonight. Beata Olsen, she plays this game like chess. She just was able to maneuver the board, the field like a board. Leilani Nesbitt was a beast in midfield. Jordan Dudley, as Ehsan talked about, was fantastic. Oni Ejikini continued to be her flawless stuff as she was in the ACC championship, as she is the ACC Player of the Year. Got to talk about the back line as well. Brian Penske mentioned this is the most underrated part of their game. One that, they kind of feel like they were kind of, screwed over. It felt like they were kind of screwed over a little bit with awards and stuff like that. Their backline did not get the credit that they deserved, and that backline has just showed up throughout the playoffs. They allowed 1 goal in the entire postseason, which is just insane in its own self. And Lauren Flynn won Most Outstanding Defensive Player in this game. Just a player who has been through so much in this program. Started out as a forward, has been through so many systems, has known Brian Penske for a long time. Brian Penske in the system got her set up in the backfield, and she has just emerged as a great defensive player. This is such a complete win for Florida State, and it's crazy to say that this is a complete win considering this team has not lost a game this entire year.
22-0-1.
22-0-1, unconquered, undefeated.
On the Lauren Flynn thing, I did a feature on her last year. Talked to her sister who played for Penske at Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's where the family, the connection started, and it's just amazing. Lauren was the first girl that, when after the Penske took the job, she was the first one that came back from the portal, and that kind of started a domino effect where other players came back. Obviously, a lot of players left. They were down to 20 players last year. She's a really good player. We've seen where she has the forward mentality,
Absolutely.
where she scores a hat trick, or I think she had 4 goals this year, 4 or 5 goals. So she can score, but she's an elite defender. She's an amazing player, a better person. This is a fun team. It's not just they're a talented team. They're a fun team to go talk to after a game because they're all gonna be respectful. They're gonna talk to you. That steps to our coaching staff. Obviously, it starts from there, it goes down, and it's been a fun team to cover. Obviously, it was your beat this year, my beat last year. Postseason, we've both been stepping up because this team deserves the same coverage as any other sport. Football included, because they are a good team. They're talented. So, we want to bring you the best coverage, and that's what I think we've done this year.
I'm going to take over the mic here for a second. Don't compare this team to the football team and the grief that they're going through right now. This team deserves its own individual attention, own individual appreciation. They're the best team in the country right now. They are undefeated, unconquered. Don't compare this to any sort of grief that's going on with the football team. That's its own individual thing. This team deserves to be celebrated in its own individual light.
Like you mentioned, undefeated, best team. What did Leilani Nesbitt say on the field after you caught? Best defense, best offense.
Best defense, best offense, best complete team in the country. It's unfortunate what happened with the football team, but you got to celebrate what's going on right now with the soccer team. This is a team that is worth celebrating 100%, and you have the opportunity to do that. They will be lighting the unconquered torch at 5:15 tomorrow, Tuesday, depending on when this comes out. It will be at 5:15 on Tuesday at the Unconquered statue. If you want to greet them as soon as they touch the ground in Tallahassee, they will be landing at Tallahassee International Airport Millionaire. That's what it's called. At 3:30. Celebrate this team, please. They deserve it so much. This team has just been dominant. This is going to go down. I'm going to be bald here. North Carolina's won 22 straight, not 22 straight, oh my God, 22 national championships, but this is one of the most dominant teams in soccer, in my opinion. One of the most dominant FSU teams ever.
First team since 2011 that went undefeated. They are, obviously you mentioned UNC has 22 national championships. UNC had a span where they won 3 in 6 years. Florida State has just matched that with 3 in 6 years. And that's under 2 coaches. Let's remember that. They are, the second most championships ever. They were timed at Stanford coming into this game at 3. They just beat Stanford to get to 4. And so 22-4. Obviously, UNC has a long history. FSU has, in the last 10 years, won all 4 and has become a dominant force in this soccer world. So it's amazing. It's fun. They did it undefeated, 22-0. Like they said, it's hard to win 1 game, let alone 22 in 23 tries. Amazing.
It truly is amazing. We're going to wrap things up here. You can find all of our content on NoleSports.com, Tallahassee.com, Nole Sports on Twitter /X, Nole Sports, Nole Sports Florida State Seminoles on Facebook, TLH Nole Sports. You can find some wonderful art from our photographer. She's been here before at this championship game. She's here again. She knows what she's doing. She's a pro. Alicia Devine's going to have some fantastic art coming out here. We'll have
she already had some fantastic art in the Clemson game, the semifinals. So
she did. Fantastic just fantastic content coming your way from myself and Ehsan as well. Like, subscribe, follow us as well. Your Florida State Seminoles are 2023 College Cup national champions, unconquered, undefeated. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.